developing countries is due to diarrhea. Among various causative agents of diarrhea, virus, bacteria, fungi, parasites, all microorganisms are responsible for diarrhea, but more than 60% of childhood diarrheal cases, more than 60% of childhood diarrheal cases are viral in origin. Among causative agents of viral diarrhea, already we said virus, bacteria, fungi, parasite, any microorganism can cause diarrhea. They may lead to more than 3 bowel movements per day with loose stool. Among which childhood, more than 60% of childhood diarrhea is due to viruses. So, what are the viruses which cause diarrhea? Causative agents of viral diarrhea includes rotavirus and Norwalk virus. In developing countries like Nepal and India, rotavirus is most common causative agent. Almost more than 80% cases of viral diarrhea are due to rotavirus only. And Norwalk virus leads to around 10% cases of viral diarrhea. So in our setup, rotavirus is most common causative agent of viral diarrhea than Norwalk virus. Remember, in developing countries, rotavirus is most common cause of viral diarrhea, but in developed countries, Norwalk virus is the most common causative agent of viral diarrhea, not rotavirus. Okay, so we are talking about context of Nepal and India, such developing countries. Here, most common cause of viral diarrhea is rotavirus. More than 80% cases of viral diarrhea are due to rotavirus. Almost 10% cases of viral diarrhea are due to Norwalk virus, and remaining 10% cases of viral diarrhea are due to viruses such as adenovirus, estrovirus, torovirus, coronavirus, pestivirus, enterovirus, Nipah virus. These are other causative agents of viral diarrhea. But most common cause is rotavirus here in our setup. So we'll study in detail about rotavirus and Norwalk virus today. First, rotavirus. Rota, it is Greek word. Literal meaning of rota is wheel. This virus appears like a wheel of a vehicle, so it is named as rotavirus. It is common cause of infantile diarrhea. Rotavirus is common cause of infantile diarrhea. It is most common cause of viral diarrhea in developing countries such as Nepal and India. More than 80% cases of viral diarrhea in Nepal are due to rotavirus. Rotavirus, it is worldwide in distribution, and all children are exposed to rotavirus by age of 4 to 5 years. Now, morphology of rotavirus. We'll study about structure. How already we said it appears wheel-like. So we'll study in detail about morphology of this virus. Already we know virus, if we observe morphology of virus, centrally there is nucleic acid, either DNA or RNA, but never both together. Either DNA or RNA as nucleic acid in the center. Then it is surrounded by one layer which is called capsid. It is covered by capsid. Certain viruses are covered by envelope. This nucleocapsid combinedly, nucleic acid and capsid, in some viruses they are surrounded by envelope. They are called enveloped virus. Certain viruses do not contain envelope. They are called non-enveloped virus. Here, if we observe morphology of rotavirus, it contains double-stranded RNA. So it is double-stranded RNA virus. It is non-enveloped. It do not contain envelope outer layer, and it has icosahedral symmetry. Icosahedral symmetry means, if we observe morphology, icosahedral means having 12 corners and 20 sides. If we make 12 dots, and if we connect them with the lines, there will be 20 lines, 12 corners, 20 sides. This type of structure is called icosahedral symmetry. So if we observe morphology of rotavirus, it is double-stranded RNA virus, it has icosahedral symmetry, and it is non-enveloped. Double-walled icosahedral capsid resembles wheel under electron microscope. So it appears like wheel, that's why it is called rotavirus. You can see the picture of rotavirus here. Here, individual rotavirus appearing like wheel here. So this is appearance, this is morphology of rotavirus, which appears like wheel under electron microscope. This is electron microscopic photograph of rotavirus. Now, if we observe antigenic structure, it internal core, inner structure, it contains three types of viral proteins. They are viral protein 1, viral protein 2, and viral protein 3. VP1, VP2, and VP3. Outer capsid contains VP4 and VP7, viral protein 4 and viral protein 7, and inner capsid contains viral protein 6, VP6. This you have to by heart. Okay. Internal core, it contains VP1, VP2, and VP3. Outer capsid contains VP4 and VP7. Inner capsid contains VP6, viral protein 6. This you have to by heart. Now, based on nature of inner capsid VP6, based on nature of inner capsid viral protein VP6, rotavirus have been classified into 5 groups. Rotavirus A, rotavirus B, rotavirus C, rotavirus D, and rotavirus E. So, rotavirus are classified into 5 groups A to E based on nature of VP6. Inner capsid viral protein VP6. According to this, rotavirus is classified into 5 groups. Rotavirus A, B, C, D, and E. Now, pathogenesis. How rotavirus leads to diarrhea? This is important. First, source of infection, contaminated water or contaminated food. Contaminated in the sense, if certain food or water contains rotavirus, that is source of infection. Mode of transmission is by ingestion. Just by ingestion, it can be transmitted. Incubation period ranges from 2 to 4 days. After entry of rotavirus into human body, almost after 2 to 4 days only there will be appearance of clinical features. And clinical condition due to rotavirus is called human viral gastroenteritis. Now, mechanism, how rotavirus leads to diarrhea. First, there should be entry of rotavirus through ingestion in the human gut. It will multiply in villi of small intestine. First, there should be entry of rotavirus through ingestion. Then rotavirus, when it reaches gut, it will multiply in villi of small intestine. Then it injures intestinal epithelium, leading to malabsorption. 1. It leads to malabsorption and increases secretion by epithelium. First, there should be entry of rotavirus, then it will multiply in villi of small intestine, then it injures intestinal epithelium leading to malabsorption and increases secretion by epithelium. So it will lead to diarrhea. Diarrhea is due to impaired sodium and glucose absorption. Here, rotaviral diarrhea is due to impaired sodium and glucose absorption, as damaged cells on villi are replaced by non-absorbing immature crypt cells. So, damaged cells will be replaced by non-absorbing immature crypt cells. So, there will be impaired sodium and glucose absorption and secretion by epithelium, leading to diarrhea. Damaged cells may come into lumen of intestine. That damaged cell, they contain rotavirus. Damaged cells may come into lumen of intestine and release viruses lasting for 2 to 12 days of infection. So, this is the mechanism of pathogenesis of rotaviral diarrhea. Now, what clinical features we can observe in rotaviral diarrhea? It causes childhood gastroenteritis mostly among children less than 5 years age. Already we said rotavirus, it is common cause of childhood diarrhea. It causes childhood gastroenteritis, common among less than 5 years age group. It is endemic in tropics and it can be seen in winter in temperate zone. Outbreaks may occur in daycare centers and hospitals, and it can be seen in immunocompromised adults also. Mostly it is common cause of childhood diarrhea. Rotavirus is common cause of childhood diarrhea. It do not cause diarrhea among adults, immunocompetent adults, but it can cause diarrhea among immunocompromised adults. Okay, it is most common cause of childhood diarrhea, but among immunocompromised adults or also it may lead to diarrhea, but among immunocompetent adults it do not cause diarrhea. Now, clinical syndromes. It causes diarrheal illness characterized by diarrhea, vomiting. There may be little fever or no fever. It is characterized by diarrhea, vomiting, and little fever or no fever. Diarrhea starts from 2 to 4 days of injury and lasting for 24 to 48 hours. Infectivity is high during these days. Infectivity is high, and stool, feature of stool is important to diagnose rotaviral diarrhea. Stool will be appearance of stool, it will be usually greenish, yellow or pale without blood and mucus. Appearance of stool, if we observe physical appearance of stool, it will appear greenish, yellow or pale without blood and mucus. It is self-limiting and recovery occurs within 5 to 10 days. So it causes diarrheal illness characterized by diarrhea, vomiting, little fever or no fever. Diarrhea starts from 2 to 4 days of injury and lasting for 24 to 48 hours. Infectivity is high. It is self-limiting, recovery occurring within 5 to 10 days. If we observe physical appearance of a stool, it will be greenish yellow or pale without blood and mucus. Now, complications. Rotaviral diarrhea, it can lead to complications such as dehydration, acidosis, shock, and ultimately death also. So, complications include dehydration, acidosis, shock, and death. If we have to perform lab diagnosis for confirmation of rotaviral diarrhea, electron microscopic is one technique. We can observe viral morphology in stool sample under electron microscope. Under electron microscope, we can observe wheel-like structures. This type of appearance under electron microscope, which is wheel-like in appearance. So, for lab diagnosis, we can perform electron microscopic examination of stool and we can observe viral morphology, which is wheel-like in appearance. Other most important test, as electron microscope is not commonly available in our setup, most ideal test in our setup is detection of rotaviral antigen in stool by ELISA, mostly in early infection. It is commonly done in Nepal. Detection of rotaviral antigen by ELISA, mostly in early infection. Similarly, we can perform reverse transcription PCR. We can detect viral RNA. Serology is not ideal test for lab diagnosis of rotaviral diarrhea. So what we can do in our setup, we will detect rotaviral antigen in stool by ELISA. We can Also observed by using viral morphology by electron microscope, we can perform PCR for detection of RNA, RT-PCR, but serology is not ideal test for diagnosis of rotaviral diarrhea. So, antigen detection in stool by ELISA, electron microscopic observation of viral morphology, and RT-PCR for detection of rotaviral RNA. These are lab diagnostic techniques for lab diagnosis of rotaviral diarrhea. Now, as therapy, rehydration therapy should be given either ORS or intravenous. Any can be given. Rehydration therapy is important. Along with rehydration therapy, zinc should be given. Zinc helps in re-epithelialization. As there is damage in intestinal epithelium due to rotaviral diarrhea, so giving zinc is important in case of rotaviral therapy, which helps in a re-epithelialization of intestine. Preventive measures, natural immunity, secretory IgA, it provides more than 90% protection. And vaccination is still under trial. There is no vaccine against rotavirus, it is still under trial. Natural immunity is provided by secretory IgA in more than 90, which is more than 90% protective. This is about rotavirus. Now next, Norwalk virus. Most common cause of childhood diarrhea in Nepal is rotavirus. Second is Norwalk virus. Almost 10% cases of viral diarrhea in Nepal and India are due to Norwalk virus. But it is most common cause of viral diarrhea in developed countries. So Norwalk virus, it is member of Calliciviridae family. This is name of family of this virus. Norwalk virus is included in Calliciviridae family, norovirus group. First, in Norwalk city of Ohio, state of USA in 1968, there was epidemic of winter vomiting disease. There was epidemic of winter vomiting disease in 1968 in Norwalk city of Ohio, state of USA. It covers almost 10% of non-bacterial epidemics of viral diarrhea in developing countries, but in developed countries, it is most common cause of viral diarrhea. In developed countries, rotavirus is not most common cause. Norwalk virus is most common cause of viral diarrhea. It is due to ingestion of foodborne illness. It is foodborne illness due to ingestion of raw shellfish, seafoods. It is due to ingestion of raw shellfish. It affects all age groups. We said rotavirus, it is common among childhood. It causes childhood diarrhea, but Norwalk virus, it can affect all age groups, children as well as adults. Explosive epidemics are seen in camps and ships. Explosive epidemics has been seen in camps and ships. Now, pathogenesis of Norwalk viral diarrhea. Source of infection, again, contaminated food, mostly raw shellfish, uncooked seafoods. Mode of transmission is by fecal-oral route, most commonly by fecal-oral route. It has been mentioned that person-to-person transmission is also possible, but it is very rare. So mode of transmission, again, fecal-oral route. Incubation period ranges from 24 to 48 hours. And clinical condition it leads is viral diarrhea. Now, how Norwalk virus leads to diarrhea? Pathogenesis. First, there should be entry of Norwalk virus in the human gut. It affects proximal small intestine. After entry of Norwalk virus, it affects proximal small intestine, and there will be patchy mucosal injury leading to malabsorption and excess secretion by epithelium. Mechanism of Norwalk viral diarrhea is similar to rotaviral diarrhea. There should be entry of Norwalk virus. It affects proximal small intestine. It leads to patchy mucosal injury, which leads to malabsorption and excess secretion. It leads to clinical features of diarrhea, just as rotavirus. Now, clinical features. Here, in case of Norwalk viral diarrhea, onset is rapid and clinical course is brief. Onset is rapid, it starts immediately, and clinical course is brief, diarrhea lasting for 1 to 3 days. Here in Norwalk viral diarrhea, vomiting is prominent. Vomiting is prominent in case of Norwalk virus, which may not be prominent in rotaviral diarrhea. It is characterized by diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, low fever, abdominal cramps, headache, and malaise. It is characterized by diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, low fever, abdominal cramps, headache, and malaise. It is less severe than rotaviral diarrhea. Rotaviral diarrhea is more severe compared to Norwalk virus. So, Norwalk virus, it is less severe compared to rotaviral diarrhea. Complications are rare in case of Norwalk viral diarrhea, and it affects all age group. It can infect children as well as adults. Now, lab diagnosis of Norwalk virus. Important thing in our setup is antibody detection by ELISA. Antibody against Norwalk virus. It can be detected by ELISA. It is common in our setup. Next is immune electron microscopy, observing morphology of Norwalk virus under electron microscope, and detection of viral RNA by RT-PCR. These are lab diagnostic techniques for diagnosis of Norwalk viral diarrhea. Most common antibody detection by ELISA, then electron microscopy, then RT-PCR. Here in our setup, antibody detection by ELISA is ideal method. Therapy. Again, rehydration therapy, ORS or intravenous, any, and zinc also should be given along with rehydration for re-epithelialization of intestine, as there is damage in intestinal epithelium due to Norwalk viral diarrhea also. So zinc also should be given along with rehydration for re-epithelialization. This is about rotaviral diarrhea and Norwalk virus diarrhea. Other diarrheogenic viruses, it may be asked in your viva during exams. What are other viruses which cause diarrhea other than rotavirus and Norwalk virus? Already we said more than 80% cases of viral diarrhea in Nepal are due to rotavirus, 10% due to Norwalk virus. Remaining 10% are due to this list of viruses. So these are called other diarrheogenic viruses, which include adenovirus, estrovirus, coronavirus, torovirus, pestivirus, Hendra virus, and Nipah virus. These are other diarrheogenic viruses. So today in viral diarrhea, we must remember, if any patient, any children comes with viral diarrhea, first thing you have to suspect the cause may be rotavirus. Second, Norwalk virus. Very rarely other diarrheogenic viruses. So must ideal test first clinical features of rotaviral diarrhea, as it is most common cause. More than 80% cases are due to rotaviral diarrhea. First you have to observe clinical features. In clinical features, diarrhea, vomiting. Vomiting may be present or absent in case of rotavirus, but vomiting is prominent in Norwalk virus. Then other features of gastrointestinal system, abdominal cramps, little or no fever. These are clinical features. Then you have to send a stool sample for lab diagnosis. In lab, first they will observe physical appearance of stool. If stool appears greenish yellow or pale without blood and mucus, physical appearance of stool greenish yellow or pale without blood and mucus. This physical appearance, along with lab diagnostic test, antigen detection in stool by ELISA. This, and if we can detect rotaviral antigen, it confirms person that child is suffering from rotaviral diarrhea. Here in our setup, but while writing in exam, you have to remember name of all the tests: electron microscope, observation of wheel-like appearance under electron microscope, RT-PCR. These are important. Serology is not ideal method in case of lab diagnosis of rotaviral diarrhea. In case of Norwalk virus, in developed countries, Norwalk virus is most common cause of viral diarrhea, but in our setup, it is second most common cause only. Mostly viral diarrhea in Nepal and India are due to rotaviral diarrhea. But Norwalk virus, it can affect children as well as adults. Rotavirus, it affects children only. Only in case of immunocompromised adults, rotaviral may lead to diarrhea. Any query? Any query?
sir.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
You, sir.